Nice. Okay, so I'll just run through this one real quickly. So yeah, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining this session. Can't wait to hear the gems that Mohammed will be dropping pretty soon. So just before we go into that, I'm just gonna give a brief presentation on MentorColor. So with MentorColor, what we're trying to do is we want to increase the representation of people from underrepresented backgrounds in tech. We know that there's a systemic issue around this, and we want to make sure that we can provide the tools and the opportunities needed for people like ourselves to grow in tech. So far, we've been able to pull together over 300 mentors from around 34 countries. So these are mentors that are experts in the fields, and they're like willing and ready to support and help each and every one of you grow in your careers. Our mentors are also from some of the top companies globally. You can expect mentors to support you through one-to-one sessions, but also group mentorship sessions like this, where we get to cover specific topics. You can get support on like career advice, building like a career plan, more technical support around perhaps like front end, back end, and other aspects of tech. And we have sessions like this, lots and lots of sessions like this. So we encourage you to check out any of our upcoming sessions and sign up. So yeah, thanks. And I will pass it over to Mohammed to take the stage.
Thank you, Victor. Thanks a lot. Good morning, everyone. I will share my screen and then we start.
Sounds good.
All right. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are. I have no idea what is the time at your place. I hope you all are doing good. My name is Mohammed Sajid, and I'm a cloud solutions architect doing all things cloud and currently working with Amazon Web Services. Today, I will share a few random ideas with you and then spend some time for discussion and question answers, whatever you want to call it. Idea is not to actually spend too much time on slides or presentation or giving you something, but the idea is to actually exchange ideas, right? So feel free to interrupt me while I'm talking, and you can raise hands, you can write your question in the chat. You can also just unmute and ask the question. Make sure you're in a good place, not on in a noisy area where it's difficult to understand your question. Please feel free to connect with me at LinkedIn or Twitter, whatever you like. I use LinkedIn a little bit more than the Twitter, but whatever you choose, please connect with me. So first question, how many of you have mentor? A mentor or multiple mentors, doesn't matter. So write in the chat, +1 if you have a mentor. I just want to see if you already have a mentor or not. All right. I think let's talk about what a mentor is before we jump into other ideas. So a mentor is a friend before anything else. A friend is someone who is close enough to give you good advice based on your personality and circumstances, because everybody is different. And you need to have somebody who knows you as a friend, who understands your situation, and then gives you some advice or guidance, or at least help you or nudge your decisions towards the direction where you want to go. I think most important quality of a mentor is active listening. And I have seen a lot of people think mentor will just talk to you and give you all the advice and tell you everything what's going on and start making decisions on behalf of you. This is not true. Actually, mentor's main job is to listen to you, understand your situation and your circumstances, and then give you some advice and help you find out the answers yourself. As I mentioned in one of my LinkedIn posts before, when I announced that I am going to have this session today, I also mentioned a mentor can act as an accountability partner as well. Accountability partner is somebody who can make you accountable for something. For example, you can tell one or three or two ideas to your accountability partner, and then tell them, okay, I will do this tomorrow or next week or next month, and this is my goal and this is my target, what I'm going to do. And the accountability partner will make sure that you do it. The goal is to keep a check on you. So this role can also be played by a mentor. As I mentioned, a mentor does not give you answers. He or she usually helps you bring the answers you already know on the surface. In fact, mentors sometimes ask more questions than mentees. This is also very common. Like mentors start asking more questions so that mentee understands what is going on and what kind of things a mentee should think about while exploring an idea or trying to find something good, or try to find a goal even. So before we go further, let's talk about why we should have a mentor. A mentor can help you in career progression by suggestions and giving you a lot of challenges during the way, along the way. He or she can help you in meeting people. That is a very good reason you should have a mentor. So you can have mentor, somebody who already have a good or big network, so that you get introduced to other people. And then, for example, you can get more job opportunities. You can find ideas about, let's say, public speaking, and there are many things you want to do that you can actually get help from a mentor if a mentor has a big network. And of course, a mentor can help you improve your mindset. That is very important thing. Like people have some people have learning mindset, some people just complain about everything. So a mentor can help you with that part as well, like shape your thoughts, shape your mindset, like how you can be more uh, learning all the time. You can have this kind of mindset. But question is again, how to choose a mentor. You should choose somebody who inspires you, right? Person whose footsteps you would like to follow. But why someone would like to mentor you, that is the again the question. Like people who are in a position of mentoring you, sometimes they don't want to mentor you because they have a lot of probably questions or queries coming towards them, like, okay, can you mentor me, can you help me with this and that. So why they will actually choose you? Because everybody has a limited time. So one good tip that I share with everybody, almost everyone I talk to, is have a good personal brand. It's not only about someone, but who knows you. That is also important. You want to make sure you are good enough or popular enough, in other words, if I would say, that a person you would like to have a mentor would accept you as a mentee. So that is very important. So that means before asking somebody, you should build your brand in such a way that people would like to mentor you. And when you find someone, then ask, because you always miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So this is very important. Some people, they just keep on waiting, they do not ask, or they do not even reach out to people. They think, okay, they are out of reach or they are unreachable. So please don't think like that. Reach out to the people you want to have as mentor. Remember, both success and failure is contagious. Surround yourself with people who you look up to or want to be like. A motivational speaker, Jim Rohn, he said famously that we are the average of the five people we spend the most time with. So please stay away from people who limit your beliefs and imaginations. And this is very important while choosing a mentor. You need to make sure you choose somebody who helps you think big, who does not restricts your thinking, who does not say, okay, you cannot do this because you have this, and this shortcomings. No, you want to have somebody who actually makes your thinking even bigger than what you can think. A lot of people ask me advice sometimes about salary negotiation. And when I talk with them and I start with them and suggest them, okay, what you should say to the company, like what salary you want to have. And the moment they listen and they hear what I'm saying, they think probably I'm not serious, maybe because they think I'm asking them to ask too much, right? So you need to understand, think big. There is no such thing as too much. You can ask whatever you want and then see what happens. You don't know, you never know what the other company will offer you until you ask them, right? But what if you ask too low? Then you will not be able to get higher salary than that. So that this is very important. You may have heard about the flea in a jar story. So that's why there is a picture on the screen. If you put a flea in a jar and put on the lid, you will notice the flea jumps and hits everywhere in the jar initially. Like it tries to escape and jumps, hits on the wall and even the lid. And after a certain period of time, it will adjust the jumping range to the boundaries of the jar. Now, if you take the lid off of the jar, you will notice the flea never jumps out of the jar because it's learned to be conditioned by its environment. So that's why it's important to have like people you look up to, people who inspires you around you. Because as Jim Rohn said, I already mentioned, we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So you need to make sure you increase your average. You don't decrease your average. So here is the 4 characteristics. By the way, this is Bill Campbell, $1 trillion coach. Uh, he looks for in people. These are the 4 characteristics: smartness, hard work, of course, integrity, and grit. And my favorite is the last one, which is grit. Grit is the ability to get knocked down and have the passion to get up and go at it again. So this is the most important skill people generally look at in their mentees. They don't want to mentor somebody who will not get up after knocked down. So this is very important to remember. So anyone who you want to reach out to, just think about this last part. This is very important. And also, sometimes I suggest people, like for example, if you want somebody to mentor you, think about ideas that will force or at least inspire the person your to be mentor to say yes to your request. So this is also another important tip I would like to give you today. Whether you have a mentor or not, you cannot stop learning. This is the very important thing for your career growth. So this is the Japanese word that you see on the screen that means kaizen. It means continuous improvement or continuous learning. There are different meanings out there if you search for it, but the one I go with is continuous learning or improving whatever. And you should avoid complaining about things and focus on improving. Don't complain about stuff that is not in your control. I notice people complain about weather, complain about other people, like, or complain about situations like, okay, this is not good, this is not right, we don't have good infrastructure and things like that. Please don't do it. Complaining is like throwing up. It makes you feel better, but it makes everyone else around you worse. So please don't throw up all the time. Don't complain. Whatever you have, live with the situation and improve it. Use the Boy Scout rule, right? You can have anything, but you can't have everything. So choose your focus, where you want to focus on. This is very important. Don't have like a split focus. Or I know nowadays a lot of people are trying to do too many things at once. They want to be good at this, that, and something else. This is not good. Try to have a niche area first, get better at it, then expand to other areas or industries if you want to. But if you have too many things, juggling a lot of things at once, you will not be able to do anything well. And that means you will stay mediocre. You will not go above the mediocrity. All right, Sir Isaac Newton said, if you have seen further, it's because you have been standing on the shoulders of giants. So today's takeaway is, please go get a mentor if you don't have one already. And I did not want to talk a lot about these slides or presentations or ideas, but today's target is to actually have a discussion. Like, I want to know your story. Like, what do you think? Do you have a mentor or not? And why you don't have a mentor yet? So please feel free to share your questions, ideas, and yeah, just share whatever you have. And what do you think about these different ideas that I have shared with you today?
You can unmute yourself and speak, or use the raise hand feature, or if you want to type in the chat, anything that you feel the most comfortable using.
Yeah, and I will bring the slides here if you want to ask about some slides, so we can jump back and forth quickly.
Yeah, so I said, yes, I dropped a comment, said, while choosing a mentor, don't consider work pride, age, and years of experience.
Yeah, thanks for sharing, Asad. This is very important. Like, do not, yeah. First of all, I think you should not look somebody who looks like you. That is also important, I think. So try to find somebody who has more experience than you, probably different age. You can even have younger mentors than you. It's not about like how much time you have spent on something. It's all about how good of experience you have. Some people have 10 years of experience, right? But actually they have 1 year of experience times 10. So these type of people are not senior in my point of view. So it's better to get mentored by somebody who has, let's say, 3 years of experience, right, in something. So age doesn't matter. I totally agree with your comment, Asad. Very good, thanks for sharing. And please feel free to unmute. We are not so many people. Why you're shying away from the mic? Unmute, talk, discuss. This forum is for us.
Yeah,
It's not about just presentations.
It's just that I'm in the train, so I don't want you to hear the stations and all that.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thanks.
Amir has his hand up. You want to go next?
We can't hear you, or is it me only?
I can't.
Hello?
Yeah, I think you muted.
Now I think it should be fine.
Yeah,
Yes.
it should be fine now.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Actually, first of all, this is my first participation, and I think it's a very positive initiative. And thank you for the opportunity and everything, and the platform that is created. I think credit goes to all, and I see as a step forward in terms of like positive contribution. To my question, I agree with what the speaker said. Is like I had this situation. Like most of the time I had the experience, but I'm only the 1 year guy. Like I didn't grow up like much in terms of like as if now if I have like 12 years of experience as a software developer, but at the moment I'm a team lead in a way. But I could have like I feel like I had the potential and I could have gone so further even. So and then the reason that I think is like maybe the lack of networking and finding the correct mentor. But my question is like, at the moment before I discovered like this platform, I was like more searching on the Twitter, like the popular programmer who are related to my field on the Facebook or maybe on the GitHub, reading their code. And then actually in the last 2 years, I made a progress which I was not able to make it in 10 years, to be honest. So my question is like, still I'm doing is it enough, or like how can I improve it further to improve myself and in terms of like learning and networking. And then yeah, that was my question. And how can I share it with my the new one? That I don't want them to make the mistake that I have made in a way.
Yeah, I think very good question. Thanks for sharing, Amir. And first of all, I would like to suggest, do not think that you are, whether you can do something or not. There is no such thing as or not. Remember, first try to like stop, block this type of feeling. Don't think about failure. Your default, I suggest your default answer or default voice inside you should always be success. Like, okay, I will win tomorrow. I will win, or tomorrow I can do this, right? Don't think about, okay, whether I can do this or not. This or is very dangerous. I mean, this is the first thing I would suggest. Secondly, it doesn't matter whether you have spent 10 years or 20 years in the industry. It's all about the relevant experience. How much relevant experience do you have? I have also spent 15 plus or 18 years in the industry, but my relevant experience is not that much. Probably I have been working on things that are not relevant anymore. And especially, I don't know if you are in the technology domain or not, but especially if you are in the technology domain, I call technology years to be only 3 months long. And if you are working on the front ends, I think it's 3 weeks long, because front end frameworks come and go every now and then. So technology year, in my point of view, is only 3 months. So if you prepare something, if you practice something good enough, in 3 months, you can become good enough. It's not about like 100,000 hours of practice. There is no such thing like that. You have to just start doing it. Just think about what you want to do and set a deadline, then reverse engineer it. If you want to do something, achieve something in 3 months, reverse engineer it, break it down, and then start working on it. And then measure and monitor your progress and share your progress with an accountability partner. You want to have accountability partner, because what gets measured gets improved, and what gets measured and reported gets improved exponentially. So that is very important. Another thing about reaching out to mentors, actually network is not about connecting to people only. Sometimes we think, okay, I have 10,000 connections in LinkedIn. This is not networking. You want to have your close circle. How many people you actually interact with regularly? I mean, how many people people in your network, or all those good programmers, or I think you mentioned programmers you follow on Twitter. All these people, how many people you generally interact with one to one, and what you can do for them? Then they will be able to then they will be able to actually reach out to you and help you with mentoring and suggestions. And the last part, I mean, I always say, you don't have to become master or good at something before you can teach to someone else. As much as you learn, as much as you know, start teaching it. Make sure your teaching becomes your learning part, or a lot of people do their learning journey as teaching, right? They learn something and then teach, learn something and then teach, and they start documenting that journey in a form of a blog, let's say, or they start recording videos on YouTube, whatever you are comfortable with. Everybody is different, so you can keep on doing it like that. Did I miss something, Amir? Or
No, I think it's covered most part of it. But what do you think, like a passive mentorship? Like I'm listening to spaces, like the YouTube channels and the Twitter threads. Like for me, it helped me to like develop soft skills and writing good code reviews and those sort of thing. And like um, how how much should I have like this passive mentorship, and then like the other I would categorize as an active mentorship, like in this platform?
yes, so the passive mentorship you're considering actually is a learning technique, right? You're learning continuously from different sources, uh, and this is very effective and very good. And I have been doing it a lot, and I still do it. I never stop doing it. Also, if you remember, I mentioned one thing: we are average of top 5 people we regularly interact with. Actually, in my opinion, it's not about top 5 people, or it could be top 5 things, let's say. And that could be reading a book, right? Following blog posts, following people, or watching a course. So if we introduce these type of elements in our daily routine, rather than watching Netflix or TV, we actually listen to an audiobook, let's say, right? And go out for a walk. We can also watch a video course on some video course platform. It could be any course, whatever is relevant to your field. So this technique is really good. I really enjoy it. This is my main learning mechanism, like reading, listening to audiobooks, watching video courses on different platforms. And this is how I keep on doing that. I have, I think I before a few years ago, I had 10% of my time only reserved or dedicated for this. I don't have that much time anymore. I reserved 20% of my time now, because this is like sharpening the saw, otherwise you cannot cut the trees faster. So this is very good technique. But you still need to have active mentoring that you were mentioning, and especially in a form of an accountability partner, because you cannot learn swimming on YouTube. You have to execute it. In order to execute it, you need to have somebody who can make you accountable.
Thank you
That's
very
great.
much.
Yep. So we have Nida. You can go next. probably need to unmute yourself first.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this might be the last question of this session. So my question is regarding a scenario that mentor and mentee had found each other. How does ideally this relationship should work? Because there are two different people with two different habits and learning and teaching styles. So what is the ideal scenario of this relationship work for a long time?
Yeah, so there are situations when we need long-term mentorship, and sorry, generally when we think about a mentor, we need to make sure the person is compatible. If their learning style, if their teaching style is different or opposite to what you have, then that is not a good match. You should try to change the mentor. Also, don't need to have one mentor. You can have multiple mentors for different things. So let's say if you find a specialist in certain area, then have them as a coach or mentor for that area only. So you don't need to have like so many mentor and then having it for a really long time just to have a mentor. So the compatibility is very important. Like you need to make sure you understand each other, and mentor and mentee both needs to value the time they are spending with each other, right? Because again, it's an investment. And if there is no positive result, don't do it. Sorry, early morning, and my throat is already dry. Yeah, so yeah, you need to cut the mentorship, mentor-mentee relationship if that doesn't work in 3 months, let's say.
Okay.
I think viewers is next.
Yeah, hi. Thank you very much, and thank you, Sajid, for a great session. I have a query. Like maybe I would like to know your opinion on this. Like, imagine you have made a complete drastic change in your job from, let's say, a role change. It could be obviously a great change, right? A bigger change. And imagine the thing what you're doing earlier is a bit different to the current role what you're adapting or going to work on. So how you might have like face this situation, how you might have dealt with, like what will be the good ways to deal it in a proper way so that you could also excel in your new role.
Yeah, first of all, staying in a comfort zone is not a good idea anyway. You need to make sure you keep on growing, keep on excelling in whatever area you're working with. And when you change a job, you go through a lot of changes. It's not about just changing a role, it's about working with different people now. Even if you're working in a team and there is a new team member in the team is different, right? So when you change a job, you will probably join a new company. You will be working with different people. So first thing I suggest, do not focus on the technology, focus on the business and focus on the people around you. And generally, when I change a job, I try to create rough 90 days or 100 days plan, like what I will do in the first 100 days. And top thing I generally do, and obviously I developed it in many years, and sometimes I don't do all of it at one job, but still I will try to mention as many as I remember now. For example, from the very beginning, I try to think about how many people I want to have lunch together, right? I don't want
Yeah.
to sit alone and eat. I will actually join them for lunch. And then I will try to understand what kind of business we are working in, like what is important, like which programming language they are using is less important than what is their product, what is their business, what they are selling, because that is more important. That is what customer will actually see. Then what I do, if it is a programming job, since I am from that domain, so I will be sharing that experience with you. Like everybody is using source control systems, right?
Hmm?
So we commit and our source code or whatever artifacts we generate for producing some product in a source control system. It could be any source control system, regardless. I generally go and try to reverse engineer it, backtrack it. Okay, if somebody has been being developed for last 6 months, I joined today. I will try to quickly skim through the commit messages, like who is committing more. Do we have a hot area where a lot of people are working? which area is more buggy, let's say, in this code base, or what are the comments about that commits. That will give me a very good understanding about what is going on. And then I will probably rely on some automated tools to identify some metrics. For example, how many average commits people are doing. I will understand the culture of the team, and then start reaching out to people who are doing more commits, right? And then ask them, okay, how did you solve this problem? In this way, I will learn the business much faster than just going to the like higher management and listening to their presentations, because that is a little bit more high level in the end. And yeah, that would be my, I would suggest, like make first 100 or 90 days plan, and break it down into different things, like eating lunch with different people, meeting as many people as you can, and learning through the source control system, which is very important. You will see this is where everything you will learn from. So use the source control system efficiently, and then focus on the technology. Learn the new technologies that you don't know already. And remember, this is very good when you are feeling like you are not in your comfort zone. That means you are doing something really good that will improve your experience in the long run anyway.
Yeah. Moreover, it will also help to come over the imposter syndrome, right?
Yeah, imposter syndrome is very real, and actually Dunning-Kruger effect and imposter syndrome, they go in hand in hand. So Dunning-Kruger effect is about you overestimate your skills. Imposter syndrome is obvious, like you think like you are imposter, you underestimate your skills, right? They are opposite to each other and they go hand in hand. If you are in your role for a really long time, you start developing the Dunning-Kruger effect. You start thinking, okay, you know everything, you know where the bodies are buried, all the bodies you know about, right? Then you have to
Yeah.
challenge it. You challenge it with new challenges, new job, or maybe new assignment or task within the same company. But when you go to the new company, then you will have this imposter syndrome, because everybody else has the knowledge. But do you know what is that differentiator knowledge? That is this business knowledge. It's not about that technical knowledge, because you already have that technical knowledge from the previous company. That's why they hired you. You're already competent in that. So you need to tackle the imposter syndrome well. You already are capable, you already are competent. That's why you are on this job. Otherwise, why they hired you? So you're already competent. The differentiator part is that business part that I already mentioned. Like, try to grasp that. The business part causes the imposter syndrome more than the technical part.
Yeah.
So
Great. Thank you.
yeah, so we're over time, but maybe we can take just one last one. I think Excel, you dropped a question there. Do you want to ask it live?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you again for the session, Mohammed. So my question really was, what are the ways that one can add value to their mentor? So because I think it's something that is very important to do as a mentee, but like sometimes it can be hard to see how to add that value, maybe due to like the distance or like just this gap in experience and knowledge. So yeah, please could you share your thoughts on how I as a mentor, we as mentees could add values to our mentors?
Yeah, the first important thing I would suggest is to set the expectations right with your mentor, because mentor-mentee is a two-way relationship. It's not one-way relationship. And if you're thinking, let's say if mentee is thinking that I'm not adding value to mentor's time, that is wrong way of thinking from the very first place. It's a two-way process, and actually mentors also learn a lot through mentees. They do not accept it often, but they do a lot. They learn a lot. And uh, the best way to actually add value, if you want to like phrase it like this, to mentor's time or mentor is to achieve what you want to achieve. Trust me, there is no bigger success. I feel really happy when my mentees are happy, or when my mentees are achieving something, or they are, regardless of whether they follow my advice or not, but still, if they are happy, if they are growing, if they're achieving something, I really feel happy. And there is no big joy than this. And as I said, the value is two-way. It's not one way anyway. So if you're spending time, you both are learning from each other. And also, I think you can help them in other ways as well. For example, helping mentoring other people, right? You got mentored by somebody. Now you already know a few new things. Start mentoring somebody else. So have this chain of mentorship downwards.
Great. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think that part that you said about it being a two-way session from the start, so it can be difficult to understand sometimes, because it feels like you're just on the receiving end. But as you said, the two parties are actually both learning. So I think that's something to really hold to mind. Thank you.
Yeah, and this is the part of the mindset I mentioned earlier. Like set your default answer to success or positive or win. I mean, don't think like this is some kind of, you're using somebody's time. No, you both are sharing time, and there is a two-way learning.
Great. Yeah, so I think we're 10 past, and that's fine. But we'll wrap up now. So thank you very much for joining this session. Please share your feedback so Mohammed can see how much value he's added for you today. And yeah, go book Mohammed on the platform and book other mentors. And yeah, get started on your mentorship journey.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mohammed.